playoffs. We will be getting into it now, though. OMG on the blue side, they ban away that constant kindred, as Shanji might need a skin of his own for that one now. We do get the Rakan ban, though, changing from that game one. Rumble and Vi banned away by BLG.
So a lot of things changed. The Fiora actually taken away on blue side, coming out from OMG. So things like the Kennen still going to be a big question mark, and what BLG want to do here in regards to that. We saw them in game one taking away the Xayah and the Akali when they were on that blue side. So I really feel like you have so many options in terms of bans. But now for OMG, Kennen's up. I want to see if they do end up going for it. We know it's something Shanji plays, and they do lock it in. So, Mazel, we've been hunting for an answer in what you go into this pick, and maybe Bin will have a better response.
Does he indeed? Will be the answer so far that we get for BLG in this game too. We do get the Zeri and the Wukong lock in, so there will not be a big Venn diagram composition for OMG this time, as they for BLG have stolen away some of those primary pieces.
And now for OMG, I mean, the Aphelios is still there. If you just want to go back to something that is comfortable, and again, I'd say the usual stock and standard answer into this matchup. We also do have now a situation where I wonder what Aki goes in jungle. He's someone who has played a bit of the Lee Sin, which, you know, we've been seeing a bit more of, but I wouldn't say he's like a huge Lee Sin player. Things like Sejuani and Maokai, even if aren't as high priority and prominence, you know, are still played, but I think it depends a lot more on your soul laners, like Maokai with Kennen.
True.
I don't know how likely that is with double AP coming out, so looks like we won't get those answers for now, as we do have Thresh coming in just for the safety he provides with that lantern.
Yeah, I actually really love the Aphelios Thresh combo. We do get the Gnar. I know we were talking about this in the off little bit here, and I was like, oh, what about the Gnar? You're like, no, he gets giga smashed. Well, Ben is saying not today. I will be
you sir are spreading fake news right now with, you know, maybe it's too surprising. But this is a Ben signature, right? This is something that we saw banned consistently against BLG in their last series. It's been his most played champion, something he's very comfortable on. So I guess it's not surprising when it's like, hey, what do we go into this Kennen with? You just default to, you know, your most comfortable champion going into the match. So now going to second phase of bans, they are going to ban out some of the junglers we talked about. So the Sejuani being taken off the table, I guess, you know, highlighting again the Lee Sin still there, Viego, another thing, if they're looking for like an AD jungle option that maybe Aki would feel comfortable piloting.
I do appreciate the Blitzcrank ban, just getting away some of the maybe engage activity from On, but I think there's still a lot of options available there. We do see the Silas actually ban away from Creme. They're trying to take away one of his mainstays. Still a lot on the board, though, but they did ban away his Akali as well. We'll see what the final ban is for OMG. It is the Lulu.
And we do still have things like, you know, Nautilus and Leona, just the generic engage supports coming through, which into a Thresh would be completely fine. Especially the Nautilus, I think, is something we see quite often. Just hook him in your tank gear and be able to go that route. And that's going to be up to OMG and where they want to go with jungle and mid. Jungle, we've kind of already hit on. Again, things like the Viego, I guess, are still there if you want to look for that. Having the likes of Lee Sin online. Aki's even someone who's really liked to bring, who's brought out the Xin Zhao on a few occasions, funnily enough.
True.
Didn't work out either time he did bring it out, but he was someone who did like
you know, I wasn't going to follow it up. I was going to leave you at that one, right? No, I do wonder if they want to opt into something a little bit more niche and that maybe a little bit more comfort here, but I think there's still a lot of options left on the table. And one thing for OMG last game was control around objectives, control around the map was a little bit lacking. This changes that to some extent. We do get the Maokai locked in for Aki.
Is it Yone time, Mazel? Is it Yone time coming out from Creme? It's Yone time. I feel it was out.
Yone time.
You got Kennen, Maokai top
swords.
Side. Yep, he's gonna lock it in. There's nothing else here.
It's got to be Yone time.
I was gonna say, you know, he's also someone who's played the Tristana, but no, we know it's gonna be this. It's his second most played champion. Actually, it's his most played champion, tied with Silas coming into today. I guess Silas now being one ahead from that game one, but now for Yagao, I feel like it's just gonna be the Annie again. I mean, Annie just feels so solid into most matchups. You're gonna have an easy time being able to just, you know, clear minions. Anything that looks to all in you. Again, you have that stun there. You have a shield to be able to get out safely. And you know what? When you pick up an MVP in game one, I think you're feeling pretty confident on the pick.
Yeah, I mean, the decisiveness was absolutely key for Yagao and that Annie in game number one. Now we're looking at more threats available for OMG, a little bit more stable of a team fight composition than they had in game number one, but that bar of execution definitely still there. And I think on the side of BLG, you're looking at how you can crack the armor of this team, how you can man mark Shanji first and foremost to make sure you don't get flanked and wombo comboed yourself.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I think looking at OMG's comp, it's to give a ton of damage coming out, right? Yone
In a series.
Yeah, and again, for OMG, I'm keeping my eyes on Creme and Shanji, what they can do with those ults. For BLG, it's all about AD.
Yeah, we'll see what happens once we get into that mid game. If we get any shenanigans in our early game, but it is BLG versus OMG game number 2 starting now. Look, I see the bin gif. I see it.
I don't know why you're so enamored by the bin gif.
It's the greatest gif I've ever seen. It is literally the best. We do get all the Gyos, very rambunctious crowd tonight.
And just to give credit where credit's
fighting
due,
spirit.
It is pretty solid when I'd say a majority of the time that LPL players don't really show any personality. So having a gif of a player, especially a player who is so stoic, is quite nice.
And when we started our split, everybody was doing fun little intros, and then it slowly started petering out. It slowly started getting to a
because they all copied IG, and the second IG started losing, IG stopped doing them.
They were
so
like, no, we're done.
I mean, I agree.
think,
you don't do those walkouts when you start losing, because then you're gonna get flamed by fans. You don't want to get flamed by fans.
I think Weibo probably had the second best over IG. But anyways, we are into our game number 2. We'll see the same side start, at least for both these junglers. A little bit of difference from that game number 1, but specifically, we do have some of those adaptations for OMG that I think are a very welcome reprieve from game number 1 to game number 2.
Yeah, having, again, so much more access. I'd say being the team who now could put more threat down has been kind of surprised. Going to play so aggressively here up against Shanji. Of course, Shanji going with the electrocutes are going to be way more like burst-oriented as compared to being able to put off like consistent DPS. Had he gone with a different rune choice, Bin going to be able to sustain up pretty well, though, with that fleet footwork.
I love the trading there. We do see some of the wins and losses for both sides. Obviously, a little bit of strength in that Creme Yone. See the 2v2s go in the way of Abel and Ppgod, at least for the moment here. And I do love this Thresh pick for Ppgod. I think it enables him a lot more. And I think while we were asking questions of a lot of the main spotlights for OMG, I think one of the crucial undercurrents of these two teams is on and Ppgod. We'll actually see an early cleanse burn by Elk because of that early proactiveness.
Yeah, I mean, you were just saying, right, these supports are the pillars of these bot lanes, and Ppgod right there connecting that death sentence, already putting so much pressure onto Elk and On. Gonna have again, a pretty nice time in this lane early before On gets a few levels under his belt and can start looking for some of these engages. I feel like a lot's gonna be dependent on junglers getting involved. Assuming you have things like the Leona that want to look for all in, so it's a lot more about linking up with jungle and setting up for those 3v2s or 3v3s.
On has done his due diligence, though. He has an exhaust, and I know exactly where that's going. All right, it's going straight onto Shanji every time it's available. We'll actually have to keep an eye on that when we get to a little bit further in. But now we see Aki hovering over this top scuttle crab. Looks like both junglers taking a little bit of a relaxive approach here. I thought maybe Shun would go for a bit of a top lane focus since they do have that push from Shanji, but we actually look like we're circling back towards bot.
I'm more curious about what Aki ends up doing, because we can see him on the minimap right now, making his way up to Tribrush. They full on commit to trying to get a dive, but doesn't look like... Oh, I love this from Aki.
Oh, he didn't see him! No!
It's too late!
He didn't get the vision! He literally was like one step from seeing him there! Oh!
Look, there's going to be a lot of laughs out there. A lot of people like, what's going on? But that's the kind of energy you need to make your way to be an LPL champion. Man. That's what I like to see, Aki.
If he sees him there, that's different. That changes. I feel like he could stop him right there if he has that vision, but he didn't get the angle. And Bin gets away with not murder, because nobody has died, but he gets away with something. We do see it back actually getting completed here from On, so a little bit of pressure relief for OMG, or maybe a little bit of pressure on for OMG on the bot side.
OMG have just done a nice job of being able to keep that up, but look at LCS not really falling too far behind. We see in top lane, Bin is also faring quite well. I think a lot of it being that you're not going against the typical summon Airy that a lot of Kennens would run in this matchup, since you do outrange Gnar early on. And the only place where a bit of a CS lead being built up actually is this mid lane for Creme, doing a nice job just constantly threatening and dashing in, forcing Yagao away.
And I love that they're putting more onus into Creme here. While I think the Sylas is obviously a very comfort champion for him, this guy, Creme, has seen some very high highs in his career in the LPL, it feels like, but also some lower lows following his season of a lot of very, very big performances on the Akalis, the Sylases, things like that. But this year in particular, it feels like Creme is back to himself.
Look, there's... Oh, I'll pause as Yagao. Should be fine, but you go through his champions, right? Sylas, Yone, Ari, Akali, all 50% plus win rate. Victor, Rise, like these guys all sitting, 25% or less. It's, you always know what to expect from Creme, and you can usually know how well he's going to fare doing it. Shanji, though.
Oh, Shanji getting a lot of damage on the bin. Won't be able to take him out just yet, though. Been able to survive for just a little bit longer, but that means that OMG had pressure from the bot side. They should take this first dragon.
Yeah, OMG doing a nice job of building until the draft. It has so much more pressure this time around to be able to contend with this stuff, but BLG look like they want to look for a fight.
They have the Dark Passage out, and the connection from the Tipper is able. Getting go so low on his going forward. That exhaust, the Ultra Shock laser, and the shot from Yagao gets first blood for BLG. We'll see if they can follow it up, though. There is a death sentence waiting for the clone of Shun, and BLG strike first.
I love the patience coming out from BLG to make sure they end up getting one. OMG do still at least get that dragon, so they can start stacking towards that soul and, potentially really get that one rolling. We're going to head straight into the replay here because, again, BLG knowing, hey, dragon's going down. They're the ones taking a lot of this damage early on. Sets themselves up to find this. Abel having to flash Zaki, the one take the lantern out. And, I mean, it's so easy for you. Got to get that flash down. Yeah. I love on following forward with the exhaust, like you highlight Elf, following up with some damage, too. I was a bit surprised by that flash. How close they were to their turret, but I guess just believing, say, 4 members there, they could potentially find more.
Just trying to get as much as possible, it feels like, but that is a little bit of the same story that BLG had in game number 1. They found an opportunistic moment, and they capitalized on it, and it was about how they built off of that moment. Now, Yagao has 1 kill. We'll see how they utilize that, but we obviously see Shun coming straight down towards bottom side.
Wards just timing out around bot lane too. Might be the perfect time window if Shun did end up coming down here. Looks like he's just going to focus on his bot side camps for now because they are all up. And Abel at least doing a nice job of being able to pick up those plates, keep up in CS, and really make sure that he gets to that heavy break point first. Because we already know how the game's going to evolve later on, right? It's going to be Creme, Shanji jumping onto the back line. So Abel's really going to be the one man, him and Ppgod, dealing with the likes of Bin, Shun, and like these heavy frontliners. So him getting to those item breakpoints pretty fast, I think, will be pivotal because it means there's some more wiggle room in terms of execution in team fights. If Creme can't connect the ult or Shanji can't find the flank, you at least have this strong backliner to rely on.
Yeah. And I think we had some bright moments from last game as well for Abel. It just was so far behind that it didn't really matter at that point. But you had some really good timings on guns before big moments. And it was an attempt from Abel to try to pilot it out. A lot of leads not going his way. But now we see OMG trying to further a little bit of a lead in bot lane. They hover Aki here. Won't get the push down. Won't take the bait from BLG.
Not going to fall for it just yet. But Rift Herald's up. And we can already see BLG are posturing towards that side. I'm interested to see if OMG actually commit to a full-on dive. It looks like they will.
They do have the Dark Passage available. The Death Sentence will connect here. They're going to go under tower. Moonlight Vigil has gone through. A lot of damage onto Elf, but they don't get the kill on not having his ulti just yet. Can't really set it down. Zenith Blade does go wide.
I think they just paid a lot of respect to the members of BLG there. I'm surprised we didn't actually get a full-on wraparound from Aki and really commit to a dive being able to come through, especially with On not being level 6, so that same amount of CC not really being there to keep you under turret. Will end up getting a cleanse. On doesn't have flash, but ultimately BLG are the ones who walk away with an objective.
And that's so big because it's so much standing gold on the map. We're seeing Bin actually have a little bit of priority in this top lane matchup as well. It just leads to Shun being able to play so heavy-handedly around this top side of the map itself. He does get that Rift Herald. Will, I'm sure, be rotating towards mid or bot with that one. I guess he could just go right back top too.
Yeah, I mean, just keep enabling Bin to be able to do well. I mean, even coming out ahead in this 1v1, Shanji not able to put up the same level. Again, we hit on the comfort of Bin on Gnar. Something he really does.
Yeah.
Just seems so at home on, and it's why it has been banned so consistently up against him. So for BLG, that's always an avenue. I still would like to see if they were able to get any gold onto Elk, since he really is going to be their only consistent source of DPS. We even saw with Yagao getting ahead last game. Like, Yagao was putting out damage, but definitely not going to match what the Zeri is able to do. Definitely more about the utility and the CC coming out for that Annie.
No cleanse available, but Elk able to get out. And I want to go back to that top lane point, because isn't this just a commonality at this point for Bin? Is it just the playoff buff? Is it the Spring King buff that Bin has? Because it just feels like he wins matchups no matter what, and it's been such an incredible split, even in the losing moments for BLG for him.
I don't even know if it's a Spring King buff as much as it's like it does well at high pressure. Shanji gonna pop the slicing
He's getting a little bit low. Meganar's coming up here very shortly. Bin going blow to blow with Shanji. Shanji's the one that runs away.
But think about it, Bin in high pressure. In any playoffs, you think back to, ooh, hook comes through.
No cleanse available. They're going to have to fight this one out. Elk getting low, but doesn't go down. Abel, you could have committed to that one, but it won't be able to secure the deal.
Again, I'm really surprised by how OMG are playing on the spots, like going back to the last dive, going back to this all in, not wanting to full-on commit. Sure, Shun's in the area, but it felt like he was low enough to be able to dish that out. Are going to try to turn to get their second dragon on the board.
Shock stacking up a little bit, but OMG feeling the pressure from BLG. Will be a move down from the mid lane. Yagao having his ulti, his flash available. Can he get the decisive moment here? We're looking at a flank, maybe a double flank if Shanji can have his way. Here comes BLG to contest this dragon. Let's see if they actually want to commit to it. Creme getting a little bit damaged. OMG should focus down this dragon and get out. As now that Nature's Grasp comes through, they're actually going to Dark Passage back into the lane.
So you bring Shanji down, which you aren't really necessarily saying, hey, he's going to get in the fight.
They just find themselves on the wrong sides of their turrets. They're like, that's not your turret, Ben. It does find a little bit of a trade, though. Yeah. I
mean, right, he's Gnar. He's super tanky right now. We've seen consistently healing up with that fleet footwork, able to come through. But Mazel, I'm just waiting for some action. I'm just waiting for some more action.
You're waiting for more action? Because we've had like every time we've tried to say something, we have action. So I don't know if we need more.
But it's like non-committal action. It's like action start. We posture. We like look at each other. Like,
the water's cold, Lyric. Okay, you dip your toes in at first, and you go a little bit further. I'd say now we're in game 2. This is like your shins in the cold water.
So we're gonna go back here. So we see Death Sentence come out.
I think he got scared. I think he was a little bit worried. Or maybe he had the damage count, Carl?
I mean, my guess is also just, you know, they didn't know where Shun was. They hadn't gotten those wards placed down in the enemy jungle yet. So maybe like thinking he could be nearby, or, you know, why else is he going to play this far forward?
Could be the case, but as we are circling back now in the very fluid state of game right now on the roam, there's still pressure from OMG on bottom side of the map. It'll be Shun in mid lane getting that Scuttle Crab and catching the ire of Creme. It's twice now that Creme has tried to go in and trade heavily onto Shun. We'll see now in the mid lane, though, with that Divine Sunder completed, if Shun wants to continue to play so aggressively. We saw him say in the chat beforehand, not in the chat rather, but in our little SOT, that it is about upending Aki.
Chat with him?
I wish, man. I wish.
I was going to say, why are you not inviting us?
I need to learn some Kindred gameplay.
Confident. All of BLG now here, so they feel really good about walking up into this. Divine Sunderer going to be on board. The only mythic so far for the side of OMG is that Gale Force on Abel. So, I mean, if a hook comes out right, able to cover more space if you are a bit out of position, or at least be able to chase down and run down the enemy that you do lock up. But won't be the case now. Just for now, will just be BLG able to escape with that steal.
Oh, Elk. They do have the Gravitum to lock him down. Cleanse also burned from Elk. So, that, again, cleanse on repeat for Elk. Every time it comes up, they want to try to punish that, and they have done so successfully. Now we maybe have a little bit of a 3v3 brewing. Looks like both teams backing away.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Elk's constantly getting hit by the CC coming out from OMG. Bucky waiting in the wings, but Shun's here too.
We're back to the 3v3, exactly what we wanted. The Zenith Blade connects, there's the Nature's Grasp back. Moonlight Vigil connects on the backline, on flashes away, but he's down to Abel. And now you get the gold where gold is due for OMG.
just able to shut down the engage. Aki's ult coming out, and then huge damage from Abel. So now they can start whittling down this turret even more. Shun taking half HP. He isn't going to be able to help out. So Elk, you're going to have to be careful.
A little bit zealous there for BLG, but they actually defend the turrets, so not too shabby. It
We're going to
was
see if they
definitely
can
a gale
defend the
force
turret,
difference, though, I think, in that last one. And yeah, there ain't no defense coming. Abel's going to be scooping up all the gold.
Yeah, I mean, that was overzealous. We're going to see here Engage looking to come out. Shouldn't having to show himself like a sapling, but look, I mean, the Maokai ult preventing entry from the ult, but then the Moonlight Vigil there gets so much damage done, and really nice cleanse from Abel to make sure they can just keep throwing out damage that whole time.
The timings of the cleanse. Now we do have our first items being completed pretty much across the board now. It is no longer single points of power here. We do get everybody pretty much on board. But speaking of on board, Abel, you look at that gold graph on the left side of your screen, and my goodness, is he set up for success.
Think about all the plates he got. He's up in CS. Like they really have been delivering everything. And we said the win condition in this series today was who can enable their bot lane better. And in this game so far, it's OMG. And, you know, they don't have the same gold lead that BLG did last time around that they kept throughout the whole game. But it feels like OMG have been the one squarely in control. 2 dragons up, next one coming up in 30 seconds. They have their flashes online for their carries. Ults are going to be back online. And I feel like it's really hard to walk into OMG's comp when you have, you know, the Maokai there to really prevent the Wukong from being able to find that access.
True, and now we're getting to the point where top laners will be involved, and that's just yet another threat for both Abel, both Elk to deal with. And I think when you look at what's coming here now, a lot of priority needed for this Infernal Dragon. An Infernal Dragon itself is so big, but already having those 3 stacked up for you for OMG would be huge.
I want to keep my eyes on Ben. I mean, has Flash available. If he can find an angle onto Abel, he can have a huge CC set up. Shanji, though, making his way from base, just picked up the Rocket Belt, so we'll have more backline access himself.
All right, they will maybe need to look for something here while Shanji is coming up. There's no real vision here for BLG to spot out Shanji coming through to the fight. The BLG playing a little bit more hesitant. Elk caught out in transition there, taking a decent chunk of damage. Now going to mid lane. That sentence box connects. Shun needs to get out of there. Did get connected on by Aki. Here comes the lightning crash, and Aki is just wood chips at this point.
Flashes away the W. The twisted advance follows him through. Probably not where he wants to go. And it gives that kill to BLG. Shanji.
Oh, they did spot him out, though.
Around.
Tibbers, the ultimate friend. They spot out Shanji, and we needed man marking here. As they do find out Shanji, they might just commit over the wall there. Flash came through for On as Ben came over the wall here. Gnar coming into Shanji, into the wall, doesn't get stunned up. The dragon goes down to BLG. Slicing Maelstrom isn't enough. Stunned down. There's some combos. Ben gets one back, but Abel gets some gold too.
They get the kill, but who won the mental warfare there? I think it was Ben. Runs him down, gets the kill. Now BLG, you know, come out ahead in the fight with that initial kill on Aki, and now able to pick up a dragon of their own. And we're just going to head right into the replay because OMG are the ones trying to force their way in. That sentence comes online, and here the twisted advance, not where he wanted to go, straight into the CC chain from BLG, and that just led everything astray. You pointed out, Mazel, the marking from BLG was so on point here.
The Tibbers, man, it's your everyday friendly bear just chasing down Shanji. But really good stuff. Decisiveness. Oh my goodness, it just doesn't stop. We said they are chaotic, and they are going face to face here. We got Shun going on to Ppgod. Should go down. No, actually not going to commit. Creme connects the bait, sealed, and Aki gets the kill. We got Shanji on the side, though, taking another fight against Ben. I don't think he wants that one. We'll be using that Rocket Belt to get away. Yagao was hunting on the side, but BLG will lose one and trying to grasp back something else.
And BLG looked so not on the same page when they were, you know, trying to find that initial kill. Some members going in, some members going out, been nowhere nearby, and they're going to pay for it. Look now, Abel picks up the IE.
Creme does so
at
much
that strong
out
two
there.
items. Yeah, Creme, incredibly strong. Abel now going to get the truck.
He was like, you know, if I connect that, there's a chance I just outright kill him. If I don't, maybe not. I'm going to flash out. We will see that burn from Creme.
We're taking big gambles today. Aki flashing over that wall earlier on leads to nothing. Creme trying to all in there.
Nobody talks about the on flash into the pit.
Yeah, been running down. I love it. I love what we're seeing come through here. Both teams, you know, maybe a bit jittery, but you know, trying to find even the smallest of wins to try to guarantee that they can move on.
Because both these two teams have been so scrappy. And yes, that's lost them games, right? We've seen the train derailed for both these two teams so many times because of their own decisions. But it is exactly what I would expect from this slobber knocker of a game. And Abel gets caught there. That will be the solar flare. Yagao catches him again. He just stepped up. Abel just decided he wanted to die today. And he goes down to BLG.
Yagao living in Abel's head rent-free so far on this Annie. Pick comes through. They're going to start making their way up towards this Baron. Bin is moving over here, which I think is crucial since he doesn't have TP. And this means that they can actually start looking for this play. And if they can start stacking up that Rage Bar, he will have Mega online, which will give BLG good turn potential.
See him bounce over the wall. They know exactly where OMG are approaching from. Bin has the Mega Gnar said. That Baron's doing a lot of work over on BLG's side. They need to turn or they need to burn, and it's got to be one or the other. It can't be both. They try to turn now onto OMG. Shanji has come up on the flank. He has the flash. He has the slicing mails from Aki. He can't get the spike, but Shanji gets the slicing mails from. Everybody separates away, and there is no hope in that fight for OMG. As 4 members of BLG walk away, OMG just have to stand there and stare.
OMG were just so separated in that fight. I mean, so many different goals going on. The steal trying to happen from Aki. We see an all-in trying to happen from Shanji. But BLG ultimately get the Baron, will lose the mid lane turret. But I feel like BLG, after a bit of the heat they were feeling earlier on from OMG, are feeling incredibly happy. We're going to see here, I was scared that Bin had used his hop because it actually means it's quite hard to define an engage angle. We're going to see in the pit, Aki not able to win out in the smite battle. And Shanji going in. I'm more surprised that Creme gets stunned up. Yeah. Because I'm like, why is Creme not able to follow in and try and get damage on Elk? But yeah, that really being a decider there.
And it might have given On's life away, but it was a huge momentum swing in the fight as well. And I think that's just, again, the undercurrent of a lot of these fights is On and Ppgod supporting the rest of their teams. And we'll need to see a little bit more gumption from Ppgod here. We have a dragon spawning in 33 seconds. And it could be a third for OMG.
Look, Ppgod just needs the hype. Ppgod, you are going up against your former organization. You did not win when you were with them. You should want to crush them for bringing down your best years. You got this. You're going up against On. On's had a good season, but you have had many good seasons too, Ppgod. You got this.
He's got a whole backing there as well. We got the motivational speech from Lyric, and OMG locked in, ready to go again. They go down here, they will be 1 game away from ending their spring split and ending on a disappointing streak here as well. But BLG moving around this dragon to set it up. It should be second dragon for Bilibili.
Yeah, looks like it will be no access into River coming from OMG, and a lot of it being disbanded. We can see now observers highlighting Bin pushing in bot side. They need to respect that. There was some pressure. They'd already pushed in mid, and really just no ways to try and come contest. So now BLG going to keep just trying to barrel down these lanes. Bin incredibly strong in the soul lane with that Triforce. He's getting tanky, and then this 4-man core of BLG have so much engaged. Abel, we saw what happened when he just slightly overstepped last time around.
And we see a lot of pressure now in mid, in bot from BLG. It will be Creme trying to take down a side lane tower up there, get something back in terms of global gold. But Shanji in a little bit of trouble here. You've been in this fight before. TP's coming in from Creme, but Shanji's already gone. Here comes Creme. Can he make a difference? Can he get something back for OMG? Abel wants to be the one to get it. And there's the flash death sentence from Ppgod. And he steps up right to the bat and smacks BLG in the face. Yeah, 3 members of Bilibili running away now towards the mid lane, but OMG are alive and kicking.
All they needed was the pep talk to come through, death sentences to land, and maybe a bit of overzealousness from the side of BLG that they're able to punish. But I mean, we're at a point we're hitting on it. Abel being strong, Creme now wasn't when we talked about it maybe 2-3 minutes ago, but being on the 2-item point. They're at a point where they really can pose a threat. I feel like a lot of it's just been how disjointed they've gotten in these fights from BLG, why they haven't been able to come out ahead. We haven't seen any coordinated engages of a Yone and a Kennen jumping in together, but here with BLG wanting to go for this dive, it just gives them an easy access to find some return kills. Sure, BLG start off with one, but look, buying time, Maokai coming out, and then Abel committing with both Gale Force and Blast to land it, and that's the hooks we need from Ppgod.
Yeah. The flash hook connection is the biggest part there in the end, and getting Abel some of that gold as well. Sitting at 4-2. He's working on his third item now. Same can be said for Elk. And again, we've put a lot of priority on the rest of the map right now. We've seen a lot of flashy plays, but in the end, the brass tacks of this series is Elk versus Abel and who can actually execute in these team fights.
Abel now having the Bloodthirst, you're going to have that shield there to try and enable him to survive some of the initial bursts coming out from someone like Yagao, which hopefully means it gives him time to reposition, try to sustain back up, and actually contribute in these team fights, because BLG right now, they are hunting. Nice
like
triple control
in the
wards.
night.
Yeah, I mean, denying all the vision. So, I mean, OMG know they're here, right? They're pushing mid, they're pushing bot. But they really need to be careful. One overstep. So much CC on the side of BLG.
There is a control ward over on the other side of the wall there for Shanji's TP2, but it should just be another tower going over to BLG.
Yeah, so Shanji going to elect to keep pushing for now. Just get something going on top side and hopefully pull a recall from Bin. Or it looks like maybe even Yagao. Oh no, pulling a whole TP. It's actually pretty good. If Shanji can escape, which isn't, is going to happen.
Might have to burn the
he
TP.
has flash.
I don't know if he knows. They don't have any vision up this way. I don't know if he knows that Yagao is here. We'll see Tibbers utilized, and there's the CC stun and 2.5 item. That'll be Yagao with a solo bolo.
Kill! Sorry, I've always wanted to do that. That was great coming out from Yagao. The amount of damage that he had there, just able to burst him. I mean, now for BLG, I don't even know, Mazel. This has been a weird one. I feel like OMG, these two games have given over like so many unnecessary opportunities. I get the thought process there from Shanji, like, hey, we really can't contest in a 5v5 right now, so let's try and get something. But I guess just not expecting the rotate to be able to come from halfway across the map. But a lot of these like small isolated picks are what have snowballed into a 4K gold lead for BLG.
Yeah, and they've got 3 item spikes now coming across for everybody that matters, at least at this point, in Yagao, Elk, and Bin. We'll see if that response comes out.
Are you saying that Shun doesn't matter?
You know, I mean, is a 3 item spike really that important for them and less than the others? I don't know about that one, but I think OMG
I'm just asking who matters to you, Mazel. To you.
You know, if I had to be biased, it'd be Shun. But, you know, that's me being biased, and I am, you know, not biased. Why would we ever be biased as casters?
I gave Ppgod a pep talk. We do as we please here.
We get a little biased. We get a little, you know, we dabble.
But Baron time, it's Baron time. I love Baron time.
They are jumping straight into that cold pool, and they want to pull the trigger on BLG. Oh, there's the solar flare right onto Abel. You got the re-engage now from OMG. Creme needs to get something, but it goes right back. And now they're separated. BLG could take advantage of this. Creme tanking up, but a death sentence connects on. That's not who you need. Bin's actual Gnar is going down. Shun was looking for something on the side, but he has no more Cyclone. And we have a stalemate from hell here that OMG are kind of partaking in taking down the Baron.
And I'm scared because BLG really don't have many engage tools left. No Gnar, Cyclone, Solar Flare burn. It would be on E-ing in, or
you got they get a big flash. Oh, that's huge! The slicing maelstrom is non-existent, and Abel falls. The decisiveness of BLG comes to task once again.
BLG just know that they can win these fights, waiting for the perfect moment. They don't care about those ults being on cooldown. Gonna find themselves a Baron, gonna find themselves another kill on Bin potentially, but Aki is being quite the nuisance. He's making them work for it.
Oh, he's got the speed up. Let's see if he can get him. He got the hop, skip, and the jump. He gets over. He gets one more kill for BLG. And an ace over OMG. A huge pressure that BLG has all of a sudden put on OMG in the second game.
I have to be honest with you. I blinked and I'm like, wait, how did this fight start? But BLG rolled over them.
10,000 gold in the lead now.
And more turrets down. They're going to get themselves on soul point. Triple Infernal, which, you know, stacking one of a Drake is always just so nice to get all of that amplification coming through.
We have to see
We're going to
this.
see here what comes in.
Oh my God, it's him again! It's him every time!
You cannot give this guy anymore. He is too clutch. He finds all the angles. He gets the engage done. And like I said, he was one of the members that coming into the team, there wasn't a ton of hype around this guy. He's the most recent, you know, LPL champion, and he's showing here why. Great engages, great performances on the Annie. And remember, there was no Tibbers up, no Cyclone up, no Solar Flare. Bin wasn't Mega Gnar yet. That was your only way to get some kind of like large multi-man CC into starting a fight. It was the only way.
And we said it in game number 1, and we've repeated it since then. The decisiveness is what makes this pick so deadly, and Yagao has been everything that BLG needed on this pick so far, catching out crucial members, but also just changing the mind state, it feels like, of OMG, always being that sense of pressure here. Now they're pushing in an inhib in bottom lane and using Bin to pressure mid.
We're going to see what they're able to do, keeping up a lot of pressure right now. Bin is so incredibly tanky. It's been a while since the last year on him, but Randuin's Force of Nature picked up now. No one's going to be hitting him. They're just going to be able to keep barreling down this bot lane.
You see, Deathinus did not connect. Creme was trying to push Bin off of mid lane. There's still the siege coming down with the Baron minions. And we actually see Shun hovering over this mid inhib. They take this down. They can collapse onto the bot side. And we'll be looking at how they want to engage this one. Waiting on this minion wave now, Lyric.
Still, though, putting a ton of pressure up with Bin and Shun in mid lane. That's, I feel like, the key thing. You're pulling the members apart, which is going to allow for Yagao, Elk, and On to eventually break this one down. And really force OMG in a position where they need to find an engage, where they need to get on Elk and take him down.
It seems like the inevitable has come to the doorstep of OMG. And that is an inevitable 2-0 series advantage for BLG. If they have one last gasp effort, it has to come soon. Well, there will not be anything, and they will be backed against the walls in an elimination match next game.
Yeah, I mean, for BLG, right, if they win this, be on series point, they can take that, and then highest placement for the organization ever, at least at 3rd, can then try and make their way, and in what isn't an impossible task to try and get to a final, right? They took JDG to 5 games. They honestly should have 3-0'd them. They honestly should have 4-1 them, I guess, because they should have won game 5, and only game 4 was the decisive game that JDG won.
See, Abel and Ppgod takes down Shun, but he has an easy escape there. As we have the rest of BLG coming to back them up. They know where priorities lie. It is in this last top side tower. Trying to take down the inhib and then rotate to that dragon.
If they're just going to be able to keep pushing, they have so much threat online right now. I feel like the one thing you're slightly worried about, like it's on your mind, is Elk's flash still not being up. Could be a window that if OMG find an engage here.
They got Shun. They got a red white for Abel. That is golden for Shun. They have Yagao over the wall, but they're going to sacrifice him. Nature's Grasp has come out. The rest of OMG still looking for some more. Not going to find any more, as well as Bin over on the side trying to stack up Mega Gnar here.
You highlighted it. Elk and Yagao being over the wall was the difference there. Why BLG really weren't able to fight back. No damage. Able to come out. Still feeling very confident about playing this far forward and just not allowing OMG to leave their base, keep these waves pushed in. But I'd assume reset should be coming out soon. Maybe clear the camps in your jungle because, you know, the non-buffs are up. Get some more gold under your belts and really just start making your way towards finishing off your builds.
And I think when we came into this second game, we were looking at a lot of the adaptations for OMG and very appreciative of them. I think we've seen Maokai not be as much of a stalwart presence as we had before in the season, but still very strong in trying to control the jungle. And I think I like that adaptation from OMG because they were lacking a lot of control. But the thing is, they haven't gotten as much as maybe they needed in that control around the map. The vision game has been, feels like, holistically in favor of BLG, and they haven't been able to get Creme online. They haven't been able to get Shanji in these big flanks to set up any of their damage dealers.
I feel like, again, it just came down to small moments. Like, you freaked out so well. The Abel overstep in mid lane, like things like this, just constantly giving BLG the freedom to find what they want. BLG, again, kudos to them finding those. Yagao finding those windows and creating those opportunities. But now BLG going to try and just set up control towards this top side. Now Shun does have Guardian Angel, so if he does get picked off like last round, we'll at least get a second chance to either start off the fight or try to get away. Buy time for his team to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, OMG are struggling to find a decision here because they have to make a decision. They have lanes pushing into their base, into their inhib, into their last inhib. Bin is going on to now. They will take the dragon. They'll lose the Baron, though. And it's just a conversation of how you choose your fate at this point for OMG.
They will get the bounty at least, so a bit more gold. They're going to be on soul points themselves. So if by any chance that BLG can't end with this Baron and we get to the next dragon, we get to a point where it comes down to a flip over soul, I mean, hell, OMG have found themselves a win condition, and we're at a point now where Abel, only one item off, has kept pace in terms of items with Elk this whole time. Things should be good, but I want to point out, Elk does have stopwatch. So having some tools that if, you know, Creme or Shanji find they're in the back line, he has even more ways to survive.
And we see the pressure mounting on OMG. Descendants does go wide. Bin pushing in mid lane. Does have his Gnar popped. At the wait clear from Shanji down bot lane. He should be able to come join now as the siege continues for BLG.
And BLG just going to play out through a two-lane setup. They have supers and bot. They're feeling comfortable. It's just once again about what kind of pressure can Bin put on them. It's going to be a bit rough now that he's fallen to mini. He really has to pay a lot of attention to Creme, especially Creme.
All of a sudden, they found the engage. Big slicing maelstrom there, but he's exhausted. So it doesn't do a lot, but they get the triple knock up there. And OMG, they found it. They've got Abel shooting forward, but no. Is he still alive? No! OMG, they still take the fight. The gold goes to the right direction, but can they get the damage down? All that's left is Creme, and Creme of the crop picks up the kill.
The difference maker being OMG having not only Abel and the Aphelios, but also having the Yone that you have to worry about. Having another consistent source of DPS that's online. So for BLG, I mean, once Elk goes down, Benny's putting out some damage. Yagao's completely burst-oriented, right? So you're waiting on cooldowns. You have to come back up before you're getting things done, and it gives OMG the ability to win another fight. So we're saying for OMG, it's... You just got yourselves on soul point. If you can survive until that next dragon, that's going to be soul for you. And now Abel and Creme really going to be dishing out the damage.
They are indeed, and I think that's such a huge step in the right direction for OMG. Even through the exhaust, able to get the wombo combo down, something we haven't necessarily seen them be able to pull off just yet.
And just look at all the CC coming out. Elk got played initially, then slicing Maelstrom. Like, Cleanse has to come out onto that. Death Sentence comes out once again. Like, so many things they have to worry about. Yagao does eventually go down, and then, you know, the Aphelios fall suit. But the difference being Yone, still full HP, healing so much through the Bloodthirster and Immortal Shield Bow. Even having the GA, which, you know, that's still up. So if he goes down, it's just looking very doable.
It is.
For OMG.
You did get Guardian Angel at least completed for Bin there, so he is full items stacked up. You also have full items for Elk and Abel, who has now completed that Mercurial Scimitar. So a lot of guns online for both sides, and we're getting to the point where doesn't matter what else happened before this moment. You got 2 minutes for the Dragon Soul, and both teams are raring to go.
Vision control coming out for the side of BLG so far. Even getting their waves in order. You can see pushing out mid and bot, and you can look up towards the top lane with that one going towards OMG's side. So doing a nice job to keep some control for now. But Dragon not coming up anytime soon, so it feels like right now the best you're hoping for is a bit of a pick to come through if any member of OMG walks a bit too far forward, because there's a look at flashes on both sides. Flashes are pretty much down everywhere. Creme and Shun are the only ones with those up, and I guess support's having Hex Flash, something we need to be conscious of.
Indeed, and I think, again, it all comes down to who gets caught first with both these compositions, and it feels a little bit of essence of what we got in game number 1, but it truly is about where you bend and break in a lot of these, and keeping an eye on Elk and Abel, but particularly who is being taken down first in the solo lanes, because you do have a lot of strength in the solo lanes for both sides in this one. I think it's coming to bear more and more.
I think the scary thing for BLG now is OMG just have so much AoE, right? The Maokai coming through, Slicing Maelstrom, Moonlight Vigil, Yone just jumping on top of multiple people to catch you with the ult. So for BLG, a lot of it is going to have to come down to Yagao, and you guys being able to catch a priority target right at the start of a fight. But when there's multiple priority targets, if OMG just play out through different angles, it's going to be incredibly hard to do that.
It will, and you see BLG are actually just trying to pick and poke at OMG as much as they can, try to set up some more of this vision, which they have been so strong at so far. See the continued attempt at advancement from OMG here, just try to get a little bit of vision themselves, because it's so hard to make decisions when you're so locked into your base. Of all 5 members, though, representing in the mid lane.
OMG is staying as a 5-man unit. Not a lot of vision to play with, but they know exactly where BLG are.
The night is dark and full of terrors. We'll see BLG. Oh, trigger pulled by OMG. Nature's Grass down, Solar Flare back, though. Abel trying to look for something. Creme finds a soul, Steel Fade on the back, but it's the return into the fight, though. On getting so low, slicing Maelstrom from Shanji, and it separates them now. That's it, it connects on the Timbers, but he's still got so much damage coming out from Elk. Abel is firing away, and he's got red, white, so you know it's about to be a fight, and they're going for it. That's it, it doesn't connect, and Elk, Abel, firing guns, but not going down.
Yagao finding the stun onto Creme, making sure so that more damage doesn't come on through. Yagao, now the stun comes out.
There's the cleanse down, though. Red, white, it's healing so much. That's cooldowns down, though. BLG TPing back. That will be an addition. The dragon has gone over to Elk, and that's Infernal Soul claimed. That's it, it doesn't hit. Oh no! Ppgod delivered straight to the waiting arms of BLG, but Abel shuts them down. 2 quick kills, and OMG, it's an ADC versus ADC fight, but Abel, he should be able to shut this one down. Flash, oh my god, it's Elk is the one, the only, the carry of BLG.
This is so tense, Mazel. It's going back and forth. Shanji even still trying to angle to find something, but Elk, he's going. The big laser, the big laser of doom.
He just needs 1 Q. He's healing up from the minions. He's going in. Now lightning crashes all around OMG, and there ain't no cover as electricity has sparked.
And now BLG, I mean, having death timers to work with. Look ons here. Shun is making his way over. They're gonna look to break down the base. I wonder if death timers are long enough for them to do anything more.
No freaking way, my man. This is insanity. The last 5 minutes have been nothing but absolute chaos, and BLG want to hone that chaos into a palpable sword. Get the solar fight back in, Zenith Blaze. It's still Elk tanking up so much and healing so much. Oh no, the Death Sentence doesn't connect. Yagao has joined, and BLG should run away from this absolute insanity.
What is going on? How did the game get this far? Fights? Mazel, who wins fights? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to break down this next replay because everything is on such a knife's edge right now. I mean, we have full builds coming out like across the board. You can see both Abel and Elk so incredibly strong. Both Creme and Yagao so close. Bin's there now, but okay, we got to refocus because Baron being online. Abel has his flash up. I feel like that is a key distinction to make. And all these huge AoE ultimates are here. But last time, Bin was not... Bin wasn't in Mega Gnar for last fight. That could have been something that really would have pushed the fight in BLG's favor even further.
Not going to find anything. Baron escaped by OMG. They get the trigger pull there, and huge stuff. We have officially crested into our longest game of playoffs here in the LPL Spring Split, and what a way to do so with the absolute nuttiness that was this fight.
Ppgod getting sent over the wall. He goes down instantly, but Abel, I mean, still being so strong. Again, neither of these two being that consistent source of DPS, but this...
Elk is a monster.
Do you even break? I was gonna say, do you even break this down? Just constantly throwing, dishing out the damage.
Just watch it,
but
enjoy.
Then flashing, you know, reposition to get this down, then able to run them down.
Just really heads up play from Elk there, trying to keep the distance, but also just using the beautiful kiting skills, healing up a little bit, and then the lightning crash to finish it off.
Yeah, I don't know if that one was completely needed, but it definitely ended the brawl in style. As I guess something has gone down in the meantime to where we are now. We all get a chance to catch our breath. I just lied. The game is starting up
we're going right
away.
Back in. Well, OMG do have the Baron buff still available for them for 2.5 minutes. It will bring some reprieve in the fights, or at least in the base. Now, we do have everything sold from Abel. He has completed his 6th item. He just picked up the GA to make sure it is re-available, or at least available. And we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. We're getting to where every little inch matters, and every engage is a game-winning possibility.
And we're still not even at like maximum damage for the side of OMG. I want to point out that the death cap, you know, still hasn't been finished for Shanji. That'll be a huge spike for him getting in these team fights. And sure, exhaust isn't a lot to like keep him down a lot of times, but you know, Creme jumps in. You have to like blow that early or something like that. really is just going to be coming out across the board. So now for OMG, want to see them group up a little bit, start barreling down this mid lane and getting some things done. They do have supers and bot to worry about, which is why they have Creme there, since Creme is the member with TP. But so far, not able to do too much with this Baron. And honestly, it might be hard, considering that they have to keep worrying about the supers and bot.
I mean, they have to find a response there. I think just getting one of those inhibs open for BLG does so much. There will be some vision, though, completed from OMG to really spot them out in their movements around this mid lane. Could be responses in the side lanes coming through, and that siege able to be continued here. The OMG's Baron buff about 1:15 from expiring.
And for OMG to be able to bring this back, to be able to tie up this series, it has been very long since the glory days of OMG. I remember back in, I think it was 2017 Rift Rivals, competing against them. I think they were the 4th seed at the time, and again, kind of being a team that was a bit respected around then, and then, hell, having to go all the way back to the Season 3s and the Season 4s of the world, back when this was an actual top team coming out and representing the LPL. Great run to be able to make it here, and great bounce back in this game to actually keep it really tense, because we're at a point where the gold lead doesn't even matter.
No, it's literally one engage, one catch out, one big moment that will make the difference here. And like you were saying, a lot of that history coming to play for OMG. Don't want to go down to a place where you have to reverse sweep, but also want to make a mark on the OMG legacy, since farthest they would make it if they win here since 2014 summer. And I think that's huge for these players, not alone because OMG has committed to this squad, right? It has been a long time building for them to find success, and we are on the precipice of a potential comeback for them in a monumental game.
Death Cap now finished for Shanji, so going to try and make his way over. Doesn't even need to burn the TP because... Oh, this is actually going to be a bit of a rough one, because with both neutrals... I mean, I guess it's only Dragon coming up soon, but, you know, not too long after they have to worry about Baron. A lot's going to go on. We probably won't get there. It's probably just going to be this one fight about to come to fruition.
Literally one fight from winning. Especially at least for
We've
BLG,
seen a lot of
right?
tense stare downs, huh? We've seen a lot of intense posturing that goes
It's like we're
unresolved.
in the wild, wild west over here. A little bit of shootouts, a little bit of something as Abel and Elk stare each other down. The wild, wild west gunslingers of BLG and OMG. Got the split lane focus here from Ben, who does have TP available for a flank for a play.
Yeah, just trying to pull the members apart. Creme is going to be the one to go and respond to them. He's really tanky right now.
Do they
Still,
take it?
you don't want to get anywhere close.
Ooh, that's cleanse use. Elk wants to go forward with the lightning crash. We got a couple ultis burned from both sides. A lot of engage available, but there is Abel starting up the Elder Dragon here for OMG.
Ben keeping Creme separated. Creme doesn't have TP.
On flash, trying to get over the wall. Shun is in the pit. Zenith's blade does not connect on anybody. Shun is all by himself. They get the Cyclone over the wall. He goes, though, and they're trying to get the Elder. It's secured by OMG! And here goes the Elder Dragon wings! Oh my God!
OMG able to take the fight. Huge from them. They get the executes online, and now hopefully they can start barreling down the base of BLG and make it a tied series.
You wanted an LPL gold grab. OMG has delivered. They will push down this mid lane. They should be able to put the finishing touches on this base. 40+ seconds for most of the majority members. And OMG have done what a miracle has wrought, because they bring us to 1-1.
Great victory. Great comeback coming out from OMG and really showing us that scrappiness that we talked about, showing that team fighting ability that we were hitting on, falling behind earlier. BLG having complete control. After OMG, realistically, we're the ones getting caught out, giving picks over. But they got to a point where, again, there's just so many different things you have to worry about. So much different AoE damage coming on through. Slicing Maelstrom, Moonlight Vigil, like Yone getting on the back line. All the roots that are like that bringing you down with the Maokai. And there was just no real answers, right? Because you get to a point where, I mean, anti-flash Tippersing isn't enough. And you also get to a point where with all that damage and the scaling coming online for things like the Yone specifically, and you now have these like 2 hyper carry threats, it's OMG who are the ones who are constantly starting fights.
Yeah, and it was such a momentum swing in that game when, base was busted for OMG, and they were just circled back and turtling as much as they could, and you started feeling like the fights didn't go BLG's way. They weren't able to crack the armor. When it came to those 5-on-5s, it was so difficult for them to find anybody, let alone Abel, And while we saw a huge kind of come up from BLG in the strength of the early part of the game, a lot of control from them, the lead that they had for the longest time, it is that scrappiness that come to fruition for OMG exactly in the way that we kind of expect, in the fact that they will just make you shake your head a couple times, make you wonder what is exactly going on, and it works.
I still want to take a bit of credit. I did give Ppgod the pep talk. I don't know if anyone else gave Ppgod the pep talk.
After, I'm just saying.
So I'm just exactly. I'm going to throw that out there. I feel like if OMG, which is kind of funny because I did predict BLG to win the series, but that's besides the point. OMG,
a little bit third coding here. A little bit. You just wanted a good series, right?
Exactly. I'm a man of the people. I'm for both sides today. We're going to see Abel putting up the numbers.
You might think the red team won. You might, because if you don't look at that last little bit of the graph, you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen this graph 1,000 times. They won. No, there's actually criminal. Heck of a drop-off there at the very end, and it is OMG who win at a deficit in our longest game of the LPL Spring Playoffs.
If you missed it during the game, these two teams are ranked 9th and 10th place in terms of being able to close out a game when they have a lead at the 15-minute marks. Both of these teams have shown that they are serial throwers. And cereal's delicious. So, don't do that. But point is, this time around,
joke or something.
Nope. Point is, this time around, it was BLG. And you know what? OMG fans out there, they're rising up. Feeling good.
They're rising up. And it was those fights, man. Those team fights were actually insane. I love that Ppgod has such an important role in this in terms of his kill participation. But you have to look at Abel. Again, the main stars coming to this one in this series were Abel and Elk, and we've had respective games where both of them have dominated for their teams.
Yeah, again, it's going to be a series of 80 carries. It's going to be all we talk about in terms of who's able to step up. And again, it's how the pieces work around them that is equally as important. But that's it. How they enable their 80 carries, how they peel for them, set them up, find these engages, and make sure things go all right. I'll give a shout out to Yagao because Yagao did have some splendid moments on the side of BLG that game to really bring it back, because OMG were the ones in the lead early. But after BLG got online, they were winning the game until they didn't.
You're winning until you're not, and then you're losing. We'll see, though, as we have been delivered a series onto our caster hands. We are going to be taking away a little break here. We'll be getting into game 3